Yep, that's right. We're on the internet. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to give you the heads up. Please, carry on.
Oh, wow. Yes, so that you hollow out the poutine for the potato for the spherical poutine.
I don't want to give away any trade secrets, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I mean, there's plenty of spherical desserts. There's not many fully spherical mains, right?
That's true. We need more balls in our meals.
Yeah, we need more balls.
Well, I mean, there's a spherical calzone or something. Like,
well, you can't. It's
spherical lasagna. You could just put it together over a balloon, then pop the balloon, like making paper mache.
No, even better, Todd. You just make a whole lasagna.
This is why.
And you dump it into a balloon and then just bake it like that, and you get a crust on the outside.
All right.
It just has to be like those look bags you do for like roasting chickens or turkeys. Just dump a lasagna into that. And
I wonder if Mylar could hold up to an oven.
You tighten it up.
Nylon?
Mylar. You know, the ones that last forever. Anyway, I think we're going to start our Dungeons & Dragons game. This is what we do offline, folks. We talk about balls and discs. I almost mispronounced that. And spherical mains. Because that's apparently what we do. Hi, everybody. Hi, my name is Todd. Thanks for coming and tuning in. If this is your first time here, I'm so sorry. No, but we got lots of great stories told with friends sitting around a virtual table. I'm going to be the DM for a Dungeons & Dragons, but for some reason, I've got Shadowrun on the brain. Tell them, Steve. Tell them.
Yeah, so, tomorrow will be session 0 of new Shadowrun.
That's
not a one-shot, not a two-shot, but a campaign. So I will be GMing that, GMing with a G, because there's no dungeons allowed in Shadowrun.
No, and, dungeons are banned by the Geneva Convention.
So we've got things in store for the players, and you get to see Todd be a player for once and
I get
forever.
to play Shadowrun.
And Todd, you jokingly did say, but I need to be a bard. Oh man, Kale and I went back and forth on this. We can make you a bard.
No, it's okay. I have ideas. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
yeah, he spent the past month twiddling the same character until.
Honestly, that's all I do. I just make the same character, and then I'll give them a slightly different name, and then I'll be like, I like the other one better.
No, I challenge you to make a character very different from anything you've ever made.
I do not accept. This is my one chance to play Shadowrun ever.
So, like, our hope is, we'll do like 6 to 8 episodes, ending around the end of June.
Nice. Yeah, that's when I run out of time.
Exactly. That's when, and so I'm assuming this campaign I'll have to either wrap up or pause by then. And then when we come back in October-ish, we can either continue that Shadowrun campaign, the next chapter, or see where it goes from there. Maybe it'll be new, but
absolutely
hope for it to be on the regular as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be real good. So yeah, make sure you tune into that, and of course we will do after the fact podcast releases for all this. And I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything you want to promo or share or scream to the masses? This is your chance.
Roll for screaming.
That's the quietest we've. They're just like, okay, everyone stop talking. Crickets. I do have a cricket sound. I'll add that in post. But no, seriously, we are looking forward to playing some Shadowrun and continuing to play some Dungeons and Dragons. So let's go around, meet the players, and a quick intro of your characters. And I hope the tech agrees to get along with us tonight. Let's give it a shot. Let's start to my right, which is Carl. Hey, Carl, welcome back.
Hey guys, Carl here. I'm playing Dave Tillman, your Twilight Cleric, Tortle.
I keep putting
Usually...
wrong face.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I just put the wrong face on at the wrong time. I'm sorry.
It's alright. Usually Dave's a pretty relaxed, mellow dude. But lately, with the recent destruction of his father's hand drum, he's sort of getting a little annoyed. And less peaceful.
He's running that ragged edge. Honestly, I think we're all living there. So I'm excited to see your journey into a full-fledged monster. All right. Let's keep going. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. But no, that's awesome. And you are also the ship's surgeon if we're back on the ship. But we are currently off the ship. But let's keep going around.
Whenever
ahead.
I'm not done, whenever I'm not throwing up, you're right. I am the ship surgeon.
Oh, that's a terrible thought. But let me just suture this up for you. Oh, that would be awful. Anyway, on that disturbing thought, let's go over and talk to Steve. So, Steve, who or what the are you?
Well, still Gex, still the world's largest cat burglar. Gotta remind myself of that. Yeah, just enjoying adventuring. He's starting to catch on to certain things, I believe, though.
Yeah, there was some clues, or outright
he
screaming.
He has not had time to sort of sit and contemplate what he has heard, but it's rattling around in there, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to that.
And I'll give you a little player's insight, because before I caught up with what's actually going on, just as a player, I had my suspicions.
There was something fuzzy.
Obviously they were confirmed when I watched things I wasn't a part of. But so now the role player in me has to come out and keep those things separate. But
so if we see steam coming out of your ears, it's because you're trying to parse it all.
Yeah. But I will say that that Gex has caught on to something that I caught on to, that Gordon was playing Rook in a certain way that was different, and me and Gex noticed it.
Absolutely.
We have to say, interestingly, at different times. Wrap your head around that.
Yep. All right, and that brings us round the horn to Gordon. Take it away, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon playing Rook. Interesting times for Rook, and things going on. There was a moment where Rook kind of had a heart-to-heart with Gex.
Yeah, started spouting what could have been nonsense or not.
You know the scene in the movie where the person says it, but the big reveal, and the other person's kind of not paying attention or asleep and may have gotten it, and then the moment might be passing or not.
Yeah, and the audience is like, wait,
to either
what?
Confirm Gex's suspicions with 100-pound rock to the face or not.
Yeah, it's one of those Tyler Durden moments where you're like, how did I not catch that? Anyway, our audience, if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, you can go ahead and watch that, and some of the bonus content, the after effects, the B episodes, or what I call the appendix episodes, appendices? Appendix?
Yes.
I don't know. Appendices, not appendix. That's what they carved out of me.
No, appendix is singular, appendices is plural.
I might have had appendices.
Wow.
I don't know.
Collectively, we all have appendices.
This is true.
Yes, each of us.
We seem obsessed with ball-like things. Anyway, let's keep going around the horn. Tihmily, tell us a little about Tihmily, or Hilda, or both.
Oh, okay. Well, I am with my foster cat, Polly.
Ooh,
So she
familiar.
decided to join us. Very sleepy one. And I am playing Hilda Bonebraid. So, was away last week, but I am back, and I see that Hilda has not died. So, congratulations, team. She is a med school dropout, and she does know that vomiting into open wounds while you're stitching them up is bad news.
Welcome to class. Today we will cover not vomiting into open wounds. Don't do it.
God, not again.
My office hours are from Saturday 10 to 2. Now get out. That concludes my lecture.
Shortest lesson ever.
Thank you for
Shortest
coming to my
lesson
TED Talk. Sorry, I cut you off.
It is the shortest lesson ever.
It is. And yet it's a very important one that people seem to forget. All right, I think that's everybody. And I'm going to be playing everybody else. So let's roll the things, and then we'll dive in to tonight's game. Oh, one last thing before we forget. There's one more thing about the way we play. Audience, you're part of this, whether you like it or not. No, but if you like it, please jump on during the live recording. It usually happens Wednesdays a little after 9. And we take live suggestions, and if you make a suggestion when we're not here on the Instagram or something, we'll try to make it part of the game as soon as we can. I've got a list going somewhere, although I should check that. But yeah, so join us if you can, and we will make you part of this game. It's kind of like when your dad would let you have a cookie, and then you found out later that was just so that you wouldn't rat him out to your mom. We're trying to make you complicit in this, okay? So jump on the bandwagon. All right, let's do this. You find yourselves on an island, a massive island with peaked volcanoes, a central massive peak lost in clouds towards the middle, miles long on both sides. You've managed to anchor your ship safely in the harbor, and you've moved on inland, past a relatively friendly village filled with lizard folk and goblins and a drow and all kinds of different folk from all around the various backgrounds in this fantasy world that we call. I actually haven't given it a name. Internet. Anyway, you press on with a guide further in, now having seeking to gain audience with a particular dragonborn and deliver your secret little planthier, little globe that you are to bring on behalf of Calrun. As you trekked through the jungle, you encountered dangerous creatures that morphed and changed where they were, eventually battling and defeating the displacer beasts. You press further in and finally approach a cave. This cave contained an adult, full-size, terrifying black dragon named Pilkey. And Pilkey was somewhat receptive to helping you on one condition. You must do them a favor and retrieve this massive pearl from the other side of the island. Bring it back to Pilkey, and they will bring you before their superior. Now, strange acquaintances, what do you want to do?
Our
you-
friend Kato here. Kato, do you know the way to this lake with this pearl?
As you're kind of leaving the cave, with Kato kind of walking beside you, you can see, like, even though she was prostrate on the ground before this dragon, she seems a little less visibly shaken than most of you. By the way, Hilda, I'm going to need you to do a wisdom saving throw, please.
Roll 16.
That is a fail.
Oh.
You have never before seen such a massive creature of sheer death and terror and promise of agony before you die. It was shocking to be suddenly presented with that massive creature. And you're still shaking visibly as you leave the cave. You look around, and many of your companions are also badly shaken up at this surprise encounter. Or, well, maybe not surprise, but certainly unexpected power of just the presence of this being. Kato seems somewhat resistant to this. And she kind of looks over at Gex. And I believe everybody failed their saves, if I remember correctly. Yes? I think so.
Go into it.
So, Gex, I need you to
No
do...
way, dude. I had a 21.
Oh, right. So you were
It's in
okay. Everyone else. So your voice is steady and calm, and Kato kind of looks at you, and she turns to you and gives you a nod and says, "Yes, I know the way. A little bit. I know the way to a point. And then it is a different territory. One that I'm less familiar with. I will get
Perhaps
you
we'll need to. Yes. Just take care of that lag before we do. Pat her on
Of
the
course.
back. Kato. Yes, we appreciate you, and we appreciate your guidance, and appreciate you can handle yourself somewhat in a fight. Young lass like you comes in real handy.
Well,
So when we get there,
I'm in your
if
debt
you,
for your healing and protection. The jungle is no place to be caught unaware.
well, we strange acquaintances look after each other, and you're just as strange to us as we were to each other when this all started. So, think of yourself as however you want. Anyway, you point the way. Let's go.
Perhaps it's best we take a short pause. And she points over to the rest of your companions, who are visibly, flopped sweat. It's like that experience of after you get out of a car crash, but you manage to walk away, but then it starts to hit you what you just encountered. Everybody else is just pretty shook up. But you can press on if you want to.
Well, yeah, we ought to make camp for a night. Kato, is there another cave nearby not indwelled by a dragon,
Well,
which we might use as shelter?
nothing in their right mind would hunt so close to His Majesty's cave. So, honestly, this is probably the safest place. We had best push off first thing in the morning, though. But I think this might be best.
Alright, man. I got a solution for you then. I'm a little tired as fuck right now, but I'll cast a spell for a cozy little abode for us to stay in.
My, you are full of surprises.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah. See if we can't put a meal together. Why don't we all make sure we bed down close to each other without there being too much distance from each other? You know, for safety's sake.
So it takes a while.
Says,
And
side-eyeing.
absolutely. As you're doing that, Tillman begins kind of stomping around and scratching on the rock, leaving these little trails behind, getting out various whatever he needs to a crystal bead and all of these other things, getting it ready. And it takes a solid minute of him stomping around and doing that strange Tortle rattle shell thing that he does. But after
it would have taken a lot less time if I had the hand drum, but
he said full of spite. And after a short time, after about a minute, all of a sudden this tiny crystal that he sets in the middle of this space where he tells you all, it expands just and forms this dome as he casts Lehman's tiny hut. Or Tillman's tiny hut, I think we should call it from now on.
that's right. It is. TT's hut, man.
You just walk in and the whole place is hotboxed. You're just like, whoa.
That's right.
So you managed to
There's
have...
beanbag chairs everywhere. Yeah.
It's not a door so much as a bead
got
curtain.
A beaded curtain.
Yeah. That was with internet lag too. Yeah. Nice. So there is a 10-foot radius dome, so 20 foot from side to side, and you can all kind of just on the side of this mountain, kind of on a flatter section, just a little bit away from the entrance to this massive cave network where Pilkey lurks. As you get ready for bed and bed down, Tillman assuring you that nothing will hurt you inside the dome, man. And as you're bedding down, you kind of look ahead to, your hopes for tomorrow and your plans. And then those of you who failed the saving throw, which is almost everybody, even though you feel the comforting presence and the smoke definitely helps you calm those nerves a little bit, you can't help but feel just a sense of like any kind of rustling breeze or slight shudder. You just, it's almost like you can feel the presence of the dragon beneath, just waiting. But after a while, if you wish, you can go to sleep, unless you want to do anything else before your long rest.
Nah, man, I need to rest.
I'm gonna try something when Tillman's asleep.
I'm gonna rest as well.
All right.
I still have some of that shapeshifter hide, right?
Yep.
So.
Well, Displacer Beast, technically.
Yeah. Okay. Displacer Beast. Yeah. I'm gonna do a craft with it while I'm sitting by the fire. I'll make a fire, and then I'm gonna sit by the fire and do a little crafting. Take one of my knives, cut off like a section, but yay big, and start cutting it into kind of rawhide cord. Basically, about a ½ centimeter thick, till I get about 10 feet of it or so. And then I'm gonna kind of like, well, I might have to do stealth checks for this, and I'm fine with it. I'm gonna steal what's left of the drum. Because I think you said the shell was still okay, like the drum was okay.
Got a little bit smoldered, but it was the skin that burned.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take it and reskin it while he's asleep.
All right, you just do a stealth check. You're just against his passive, and you have advantage because he's asleep, I'm assuming.
Yep, he's exhausted.
27.
Yep. You manage to find where he keeps it in his pack and pull it free without alerting him.
So I'll sit down and take a bit of the Displacer Beast hide and kind of throw it over the skin, over the drum, kind of pulling it, like if this is the drum, kind of pulling it down over a little bit, and then I'll cut all the way around. For those of you who don't know how to make a djembe skin, here's how you do it. Cutting all the way around, and then take it off, poke holes every half inch or so all the way around with the knife, kind of using them as an auger. Then take a piece of the hide, make a ring around the bottom of the drum with that, tie that, and then basically go back and forth with the hide all the way around.
Nice.
Between the ring and the holes, and then you little by little tighten it all the way around. And I'm going to sit there and do that for the next couple hours until I get it to where I like it.
Nice. All right, so I'm going to get you
drum.
to do your artisan check. If you don't have it, it's just going to be, let's say, intelligence, I think. Probably intelligence to make sure that it all pulls off in the right order.
See, this is another one of Gex's things. He's like, I've been around a while. I've seen it done. How hard can it be? What is my intelligence is +2? 21.
Nice.
It's going to be a good drum.
Now, you get the sizing all right, and you're about to start putting it all together, and you're like, wait a minute. This will work a lot better. This is still pretty, fresh hide. If you let it dry and tan, but in the right shape, you're going to have a lot more success. So if you let
That's not true.
Oh, okay.
You actually want to soak it ahead of time. You want it to dry after you've got it in place.
Okay. I stand
because
corrected.
then what happens is you tighten while it's still wet. You tighten it to the shape of the drum, and it dries in the shape of the drum while it's tight. If you don't have enough, I've actually seen videos on how to make it. I have a djembe that was made this way, and Anyway.
All right. So you managed to get to work and start, and you use bits of the old hide and the rope that hadn't burned, just in case you needed to reinforce any of the gut that you made, and you managed to do a pretty passable job of it. And you go ahead and just before falling asleep, I assume you sneak it back in his pack, or do you want to present it to him later?
Well, it needs to stay out to dry. I'll let it stay out to dry, and then I might make some tuning toggles while I'm sitting there.
Fair enough. Now, if you stay up too much longer, you are going to risk an exhaustion point. It's been a long day.
Oh yeah, but he feels like he has to repay for him. Once he starts feeling like he's getting a little woozy, he'll just lie down.
All right. So you get most of the way done. The tuning toggles will still take a little bit longer, but the hide is shaping up very nicely, and it's actually really peaceful up on the mountain right now. As you look out over the jungle below, and you can now. The only thing that's a problem is even still, everybody's got this slight lingering kind of cough, because out of you had thought at first it was the volcanic activity, but now there's this very acidic tang in the air, almost like this mist, just kind of suffusing its way out of the cave and bubbling up through cracks, and it reminds you of that massive, dangerous creature beneath. But other than that, everyone sleeps pretty peacefully. If you want to wake up the next person for a watch, you can. Otherwise, you can trust to Tillman's magic.
It is a pretty safe hut. Come on, let's be honest here, folks.
Even without the drum assistance, it's pretty good.
The drum assistance just hastes the spell. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Gordon,
All right, so
you're muted.
everybody.
Sorry, I was muted. I would want to watch.
Okay. So Gex kind of rouses you, and you pop up, and he goes off to sleep finally, and you do notice that he's been working on something. All right, Rook, you are looking out over the mountain and just taking in where you finally are. and it's quiet and nobody else is around. Is there anything you want to do or prepare for what's coming?
No, everyone else is asleep?
As far as you can tell, yeah.
I can tell. Okay. I'm probably just going to meditate on my next course of action, and just with what I'm thinking about doing with the orb as well. So
Sure.
I'm gonna just prepare for that and just kind of get it all together.
Stronger. We must make it stronger. If we can. Yes.
All right, fantastic. So you're do a perception check for me, please.
Sure. 24.
The jungle is quiet, and true to what Kato said, no predators, or even almost any living thing, dares to approach the mountain. And after about an hour of watch, you just get this tingling sensation in the back of your mind. Someone pressing. Can I get you to do a wisdom saving throw, please, Rook?
Okay. $14.
14. Rook. On the mountain. You open your eyes. It's a far cry from the tiny, dingy hovels and holes you've been with of late. You breathe in this tang. It burns your nostrils, and you look out around, down at your sleeping companions. You don't know how long you have, but it seems to be night here, and you seem to have made it to the island. What do you want to do?
Okay. I immediately go over to Hilda and wake her up.
Hilda? Rook bends down, shakes you awake in the night, places a small...
I whisper, what's going on?
You awake?
I mean, kind of.
Listen carefully. This body is not mine. It's a doppelganger. I was taken back at the shop. They are trying to sabotage our mission. Our mission. I've already tried to ward Gex. There's not much time. I'm free now, and I can occasionally control things back from Tazfarel. But this person is not me.
Rook, do a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. Natural 2023.
You have a little more time.
So you know what I'm going to do with that kind of? I'm going to force myself to change.
Now, you've never done this before, but you have a strange feeling. I'm going to need you... Are you trained in Arcana?
Yep. I am now.
All
Right. From the last
Can I get you to roll an Arcana check? The DC is fairly high. It's the first time you've ever done such a thing. But you are aware that such things do happen.
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to use knowledge from a past life.
And you have access to that. With your 12, you might want to bring that up a little.
18.
18 total. All right. There's a moment where Hilda, I need you to do an insight check, Hilda.
Okay. Let's see how insightful I am being just woken up. Insight. There we go. Roll. Ooh. 14.
So you're blurry and half asleep, and Gex was talking not Gex. Rook was talking very quickly, and you were just like, what? So you're getting most of what he's saying, but it's so fast, it's hard to... You're just like, oh, nothing's swinging at you, there's no more monsters. Hold on, what? And you do hear him, but it's all a bit of a blur and quick to... And you're just kind of trying to take a look, and then he stops, and he concentrates. And then he kind of grunts.
Are you pooping? Are you spirit pooping?
And he looks like he's
don't
going
poop.
purple.
I don't need to eat.
And he goes purple in the face for a second, and you're like, ooh, dude, you gotta ease down. You're gonna blow a blood vessel. And then all of a sudden, the purple in his face stays. And then his skin turns this vibrant, deep, purplish blue color. And then stays that way. And his limbs and his neck elongate a little bit. And his forehead stretches and his nose flattens. And his eyes fade to this jet black. And you're just watching him do this, and he starts gasping for breath again. And you're staring at this... Sorry, go ahead.
The shopkeepers and his brothers. I'm now hunting the others, but this one is with them. You need to stop him.
Oh.
Wake up, everyone, and stop him.
Stop. Did you?
Yes.
That's here.
And at that moment...
Right now?
Right now.
Rook, as you're saying, right now. And the pinprick, the world just fades to this pinprick of light in the distance, and you open your eyes. Dusty, old chimney filled with ash. You piled it all in the far corner. The little hole that you climbed into. And the bits of iron and lead that you've placed around you. And a tiny bit of light peeking down from the chimney, way, way up at the surface. And you gasp and have lost. So, Rook, what do you want to do?
On the island or Rook?
On the island.
On the island? Like... Sorry you had to hear that. It's not one of my friends, but it's one of the spirits with me. You see, I'm a doppelganger, and I've always been this way. When the Undertow was destroyed, all the people they're either, I don't know where they are, whether they're spirits of the dead or they're in a different dimension or something, but they're with me, and sometimes I get possessed. and not everyone is friendly. Some try to help me, and some not so much.
Can I do like a insight check? Because
That's probably a good idea. And I'll get Rook, persuasion or deception. It's your call.
Well,
12. Ooh, thank you for remembering the advantage. It didn't help you, though.
nope.
Hilda,
oh,
there's something about the way... I mean, this is unnerving as hell already. And he's babbling, and he's this weird, extended blue creature. He seems like he's trying to confide in you. But the pieces don't quite add up. With your 15, you get the distinct feeling that he's, at best, speaking in half-truths.
in which case, I'm going to put on a zone of truth.
All right. You clasp your holy symbol, and this pulse extends out, covering most of the radius of the inside of this dome. It's about probably about 4, 5 in the morning. On the edge of the horizon, you can see the sun just coloring the edge of the ocean in the distance. Just starting to turn. Everybody in there? Yeah, everybody in there needs to do a charisma saving throw. Asleep or awake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And if you're asleep,
Man.
I'm thinking it's disadvantage.
Man, you're a cruel man. Kick a turtle while he's down, literally.
Oh boy. I don't even save myself from my own zone of truth.
Wow.
It appears that advantage or disadvantage or not, it doesn't matter.
Wow. Carl, that's wow. For those listening, Gordon got a 4. Tillman got a 1, but with disadvantage, that's a -1. Tihmily, of course, it's your spell, so
Yep.
you got the 12, and Gex got a 10. So that's fails for literally everybody.
Everyone's gotta be truthful.
Tillman's gonna tell you he has truthful dreams, but he's not fucking waking up.
Absolutely. All right, so
Also developed verbal diarrhea.
As I'm clasping my symbol and letting out this bloom, I am
Rook,
going to
it
also...
appears she's casting some kind of spell. It is technically your turn. Do you want to do anything?
so I already know the zone of
You've seen it before. You've
Truth
experienced
is-
something.
yeah. It's already been a couple times, so it's now affected me. So now it's my turn.
Yeah, you have a chance to do something while she's muttering her spell.
Oh, she's doing another spell.
No, the first one. But in
The
that
first
moment,
one?
while she's
Okay.
casting and you feel it pulse out, you're like, I have a moment. I want you to feel free to interrupt if you just want to delay something. That works too. Or you have a chance to kind of do something now.
I'll kind of look her in the eye as she's doing the spell, and then I'll say, okay, let's speak truthfully.
Are you still remaining in your blue form, or are you going to resume Rook?
I'm going to turn back to Rook.
Okay. You morph back into Rook, your body twisting and almost bubbling in places until it gets to the right size and appearance.
That's weird, man.
Yeah,
They didn't cover that in med school.
probably not.
At this point, I am going to also nudge.
Before you do
Okay.
that, let us speak truthfully, and then
Alright.
wake the others.
All right. Okay. Can you explain why you appeared and then shifted you into this blue form?
I'm a doppelganger. I can take many shapes.
But why did you show up and then transform yourself again? I'm not understanding that point.
Are you wondering why your friend showed up?
So, yes.
Your friend has a psychic connection with me.
Mm.
You see,
Mhm.
I don't really mean any of you any harm at all. But I have a mission to deliver the orb to Brickell, to make sure he gets the orb.
As you begin to mutter the words, I don't mean any of you any harm, your words begin to slur and stretch as though you're trying to force that word. I don't really mean you any harm, but
Don't really mean you any harm.
and
But
you were gonna say I don't mean you any harm, but the really forces its way in, as though it's like extra syllables just like piled in almost against your will.
yeah, I don't really mean you any harm unless you get in the way. This is an opportunity for all of us to come away with quite a bit of money. A way all of us can win.
But
You get what you want, I get what I want.
I mean, I see if that is the point, but the original mission was already to deliver the orb, so why did you switch? Sorry, have you been with us since the very beginning?
I've
Like,
been
at the-
with you since just before we departed Tazfarel.
Wasn't the mission already given to us was to deliver this orb? So why was there a need for you to replace or whatever it is with Rook?
Reason why I had to replace with Rook was to take this orb over. But this orb also needs to be amplified to make contact with Raquel and the leader, the dragon.
And what would the amplifying the orb do once they make contact with Raquel?
The amplification of this orb will strengthen it. It will make it more powerful and more clear. It will allow it to connect to such a great creature. You see, before it might work on a lesser being in the contact, but something of this strength, it needs to be amplified.
When you say work on a lesser being, what does work on imply?
Establish contact.
Okay, but what does the contact do?
Communication.
Communicating with...
From Tazfarel to a being here, which is a great, great distance away.
right. So we are delivering a cell phone. I'm just
Yes, in a way, we are delivering a device for
proto
communication.
cell phone.
a cell phone or phone. All right.
Everything's here.
And if you're wondering about your friend, I swapped to make sure that this orb would successfully make it. Your friend is not very happy about this,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you're kind of besmirching his reputation on being able to deliver on this task. I mean, Calrun trusted us with this task. Is Calrun also the same person who instructed you to take over Rook?
The silence stretches out between the two of you.
So, you have a choice. We can continue working together and get the orb and deliver it and be paid handsomely. Or not. And all of us would come away with nothing.
I think it changes. Not that we would come away with nothing, because our original task was also to deliver said orb. And I think, given the silence, that we have different task givers who would be issuing this reward.
If this orb gets delivered, Calron will pay you. You would have succeeded on your bargain.
Mm-hmm. And
I would also come away happy.
so only if that orb is also strengthened in some way.
Well, I mean, if the orb is delivered and connection, it would be better if it was strengthened to help ensure there's a connection. It may still work without it, or not. It would be better if it was strengthened. But yes, I would still come away happy if it was delivered to Raquel.
Hmm. I want some assurances, but it is
What would you
hard.
want?
Well, first I would like the assurance that Rook is all right.
Rook is, as far as I'm aware, all right and being a pain to me.
Would that not impede on your own performance during this task?
There's only so much he can do, and to be honest, one reason I have to be honest, I'm hoping that if we come to an agreement, that he will no longer pester, because he'll see that we're all working together, and he will allow it.
This is not quite a decision that I have to make. I can make by myself. So I am going to rouse my other companions.
You turn around.
At this point, I turn around.
You start to shake. Who are you going to wake up first?
I guess I'm going to wake up Gex.
Sure. So you shake Gex. You wake up. You only just went to sleep like less than 3 hours ago. So you're pretty shaken.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Short
it's one of
rest, I
those.
guess, right?
But you know,
On
you're
those
pretty
nights.
old. You gotta pee anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
The
At
bladder.
least 6 times a night.
And as I'm shaking you, I say to Gex, I think we have a situation here. And
The two
it'd be
of them.
great to have some consensus or majority on the strange acquaintances, on what's the next step.
I'll shake Tillman awake.
It's telephone shaking.
Did I end up getting a long rest or no?
Not yet. Sorry, pal. Actually, hold on. It's been
Aw.
almost 6 hours. Do a Constitution check for me, and we'll see if that's enough. That's how I live my
Maybe I
life
should-
every day.
I shouldn't have woken him up.
Oh, sorry, that was a save. Never mind.
That's
Give
okay.
me a second.
Still pretty damn good. We'll take the number. Just tell me what the con modifier is. Oh, it's just +2. So you rolled a 19 first. That's fine. I'll count that. So you know
right.
what? 6 hours. You would normally be. You're like, oh, is it your watch time? And you must babble about the dream you were just having.
So many fishes. So many fishes. Pink ones. Yellow ones. Blue ones. What? What's happening, guys?
And you're awake. Thank you.
I've been doing some thinking, some dreaming. Now that I've had time to sleep on it,
Literally.
I've had a short nap on it. Let's call it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Alright.
gonna stand up while I'm saying this.
Yeah, you're all
And
you all awake, and you're still inside the dome. The sun barely. You can't see the sun itself, but the horizon is illuminated. You can make it out the shape of the island and the ocean around it from this altitude.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna kind of go to the door of this dome and kind of push on the wall, lean on the wall a little bit, just feel it. Kind of get a sense of the solidness of the wall.
It's actually weird because from the inside, you go to lean on it, your hand just goes whoop, right on through like it's a beaded curtain. If you're on the outside, though, and you push against it, it's rock solid. Unless you want to go in.
No, that's kind of what I was thinking it would be. I'm gonna walk. I gather I'm not that far. But I'm gonna step over to Rook, and I'm assuming Hilda's right there. I'm gonna kind of like put my hand on his shoulder, and say I was thinking. Finally, I've had time to mull over in my head what you told me the other day. You know, this body is not my body. This body's not me, actually, I think is the exact quote.
This is all news
So
to
something
you,
about
Hilda.
being a doppelganger. You said the brothers at the magic shop kidnapped me. And you know, I was in a bit of a state, kind of drunk. I was kind of thinking, oh yeah, Rook's being weird again. But then I thought, hang on a second. And I'm going to kind of squeeze his shoulder tighter, grabbing his like tunic or his armor, like getting hold of it with all of my 7'6", 400 pounds of Gex. And I'm going to kind of like pull him a little closer. And I was thinking, you know, Rook, when we were in the gauntlet, I liked the way you fought in the gauntlet. You fought with bravery. You fought with gusto, even flair at some point. You were right in there. You know, you used cover, you popped out, you shot, you advanced when it was the right time. You were brave. But then, when we were fighting that T-Rex, kind of hid in the bush a little bit longer than usual. You kind of overused the cover. I might feel, and the same when we were kind of battling those phase beasts. You spend a lot of time hiding, a little less time putting yourself at risk like you had previously. And I kind of feel like this body is not me isn't about your past lives. It's not about something else. I think it's about this body is not Rook.
Yes, I just told Hilda this. That's why we're waking you.
Yeah, but I'm a little annoyed now. This is Gex being annoyed. You see, because I went on a mission with Rook, and you're not Rook.
You can
It
be
seems-
annoyed, but we should talk business because your entire journey here and the money that you want to gain is at stake.
I mean,
So we should talk business. And by the way, you were the one that tried to steal from me. Remember that?
oh, I do remember that. All a bit of good fun. All a bit of good fun.
Uh-huh.
Tillman, you're taking all this in, and these are the two guys that have known each other the longest, suddenly talking like this. And your brain is still pretty fuzzy. And you get this strange blurring sensation. You weren't awake when the spell was cast, but it takes you a few seconds. And you kind of mutter a few things under your breath, and you realize, nope, you're getting this strange stutter. You've had that once before. You suddenly realize, oh, I do have to tell the truth. Weird. Even little silly white lies.
So the truth, Gex, is this. As I've told Hilda, I'm not Rook.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
name is
not the Rook.
Vostlo.
Vostlo.
Vostlo. You met my brothers.
Yeah, I remember your brothers. I remember your brothers.
You remember his brothers. Do we all remember his brothers?
Yeah, you apparently you overreact when someone tries to pick your pocket.
Well, you didn't just try to pick our pockets, but regardless, here we are.
Actually, the truth is I did pick your pocket.
You don't have the ring anymore.
No, I still have the coin purse though.
The coin purse? Oh, okay. It wasn't mine. But... oh, he's going to be really upset about that. But anyways.
I'm not going to take my eye off him for a second.
Yeah.
I'll give you a moment before my rage engulfs me. Let me talk to Rook, if that's possible for a
I
second.
can't control that.
Well,
I really can't control that.
Wrong answer,
well,
sir.
if you can't control it, do you know how it happens?
Yes.
How
He
does it
has a
happen?
ring that psychically connects us. And once in a while, he can monitor us and occasionally take over my body.
Mm-hmm. Well, what makes that happen versus not happen? Do you
When
have
he
that
decides,
ability
when
on?
he decides to, and imposes. I can't ask him to do it.
Hilda,
at
is
this
he
point?
telling the truth right now?
Yes, I'm the truth thingy.
You shut up for a second. Hilda, is he telling the truth right now?
I am
indicates yes.
not sensing a lie.
And you notice there's this strange blurring stutter whenever anybody tries to do too much of a lie in this place. You're all enwrapped in this magic.
Yeah.
So
I have issues with him being among us. Mainly that, Rook is my friend.
well, Rook is back at Tazfarel.
Yeah.
But why did you have to replace him like this?
I'm not okay with that.
To
You're asking me to be okay with that.
to deliver this orb, to make contact.
We were going to do that anyway. There's something else going on here that you're not telling us. And if
But
This-
what does your masters gain from this mission completing?
Information. And by the way, you've already made quite a formidable enemy, and a common enemy, I might add, by sinking a Mage Tower boat.
Yeah,
The groups that I work with are the other faction. So thank you for doing that, but we're at a point right now where we are very close to being able to deliver this orb. And then you get paid a lot of money, I get paid money, we all walk away happy. You can go back to Tazfarel and buy Rook a drink. I'm here to level with you guys so that he can stop pestering me so we can get on with this. He's worried that I'm going to harm you. And since we're all speaking the truth, if you get in my way, I will. But our goals are actually has alignment here. If you want an assurance from me, I am willing to speak to my brothers and tell them not to go after Rook. They will go after him if he continues to get in the way. He's only really getting in the way to look out for you. And that's why, instead of just taking off when Hilda put up the magic, I'm agreeing to speak the truth and level with you all.
I have a question before you go on. So he has a ring and you have a ring, the ring which you picked out of my pocket. I'm assuming you have that. That's how you talk to each other, right?
That other ring lets me speak with my brothers.
Lets you speak with your brothers.
And with Rook.
Who's got the orb
Rook,
right
okay.
now?
I have the orb. I've had the orb since Tazfarel.
I'm gonna need you to give the ring and the orb to Hilda. Right.
No. Why? And no.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
That's
And if
assurance.
I don't,
I'm gonna get stabby.
and then what? No one gets what they want. I would rather destroy the orb.
Patience is running out. You want us to trust you? Give her the ring and the orb. Like I did with my children, I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2.
Why do you want to give them the orb? No?
Ooh.
Ooh.
The dice is rolling.
As he's counting, roll initiative. Actually, Vostlo.
Rolling
do a-
initiative.
Well, roll initiative, but also do a perception check. And Gex, I'm going to need you to do a sleight
Okay.
of hand check. As you line up this.
Oh
So I'm
man,
gonna-
Yeah.
oh man, you're not Rook?
And perception, okay.
Can,
All right.
Does Hilda notice that Gex is about
No,
to stab?
nobody notices
before
what
3?
Gex is doing. He's just
I mean, I did
counting with
warn
one
him.
hand. Very, very.
But this is before
with,
3.
With
You know, Hilda was
28
like-
on sleight of hand, nobody notices it. Meanwhile, just so we know what's going on.
29.
Whoa! On Never mind.
Natural
I take it all
29
back.
perception.
Vostlo with his nat 20, total of 29, sees him lining up, getting that blade ready. So you do not get the surprise round there, Gex. Everyone else is very surprised, but not Vostlo. So it's going to be straight initiative. What was your initiative, Vostlo?
15.
15. All right. What was your initiative, Tillman?
11.
And Hilda?
It was 10.
And Gex?
23.
Oh, that's a 20. Okay. I thought that was a 3.
Well, I said 3. I missed the 2.
Yeah. All right.
I can't actually roll a 3.
Gex, take it away. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna put it in his thigh.
Okay, make your roll.
Oh yeah, what do I roll for daggers? Where's my daggers? It's +6.
Tillman is literally confused at what's going on. So
And the two
19
rogues
on
just stare at each other, and the next thing you know, daggers are moving. People are swearing. 19. Does 19 hit your AC, Vostlo?
It does. Yep.
All right, that's a hit. Roll damage. There's nothing
This
giving
is
you
terrible.
advantage, so unfortunately, actually,
You wouldn't get it.
yeah, I don't think you have advantage on this one.
No, probably not.
Yeah, so just standard attack damage.
7.
Right.
Unless you're saying I get it for someone else being near me in combat, but
Unfortunately,
That would be
if they
weird.
weren't totally like, what's going on?
I don't think
then
I don't think it
they
makes
can't
sense.
really assist you in that. Although,
they don't know they're in combat yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
They know now.
I didn't get to
Vostlo?
3. 2.5. Stab.
1, 3. All right, Vostlo, a dagger jabs into you. You managed to pivot away from the worst of it, though, having
Uncanny
seen
dodge.
it coming. Yeah. Oh yeah, you cut that then. So that's only 3 points of damage. All right, Vostlo, what are you doing?
Is it the lower half?
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Gex?
Oh yeah, you do have a bonus
what else
and a
can I
movement if you want there, Gex. Thank you. It's like
Yeah, I can't cast a spell in my bonus, can I?
no, not unless it's a bonus action spell, which most of them aren't.
I'm just double checking. It is not, I believe. No, it's a regular action. Can I melee him?
Yeah, you can do a second attack, melee attack.
I'm gonna headbutt him.
All right. All right, make your attack. I don't think you get any bonuses to this. You don't even get to
That
add
just
your
seems
strength or
like
anything.
Anger
You can use
motivated
dex.
violence.
You can use dex for this, but it's not going to get any damage bonuses from your dex. So go ahead and roll it. Just a pretty much a straight
it's
D20.
mostly not. It's mostly just because like
Your
he doesn't
friend.
want to let go. Like
Yeah.
under pain of death, he will not let go of him at this point. So I'm just gonna make a dex roll and see what happens. 11.
Oh, and I do need you to retroactively do an athletics check versus Vostlo's either athletics or acrobatics to kind of sink that grapple.
Yeah. Okay, 21.
21. Vostlo, acrobatics or athletics? It's a bit timey-wimey, sorry.
31.
Damn!
Ooh.
Damn!
How do you
Yeah,
have that
son.
much?
Wow!
Expertise, acrobatics,
That's a
and a
lot.
nat 20.
So you go to get him, and he he leaves his cloak behind. You're just like, what the? He just ducks right out of it, spins out. He is not grappled at all. And you were going to try a headbutt there, but
I'm sure I miss at this point.
Yeah, you probably do. But go ahead and roll the d20 just to see if you manage to clip him.
Oh, what did I rolled it already. What did I get?
You rolled it already and he missed.
Okay.
He had like an 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
that's
was like
what that
a
was.
12 or something.
Oh yeah, you totally just and you've got a cloak in your hand and he's just not there anymore. Very tricky. All right. Vostlo, what do you want to do?
So I've just been trickled a little bit. I'm just going to look him in the eye and say, let's speak again when you calm down. And I'm going to bonus action disengage, and I'm going to use my movement, and I'm going to stealth away.
All right. So he steps away from the swirling cloak that he's left behind in his wake, actually, or blanket or something that you were using to cover yourself. You duck off and beat feet into the forest, and nobody gets a chance to grab you because you're disengaged. Unless you've got that feat. I don't think anybody has that.
I don't think anyone has Sentinel.
No.
Which feet?
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
No.
All right, so you 30 feet away, and then roll your stealth check, please, as you go rushing off. Now, here's the catch. You still need places to hide. So I'm going to ask you, are you going to go out onto the mountain? Or, like, downhill? Uphill? There's the cave? Which way do you want to go? And
I'm
that will
probably going to
determine your
go
DC.
where it's the most convenient, like the closest forested area.
That's pretty far downhill, so you're going to have to hoof it
Actually
for a
downhill,
while
or-
to get there. Nearest place
so,
to
like,
hide would be
we're-
the cave. Otherwise,
Would be the cave itself.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you know,
then
there's
I
something
would
in
go
there.
back in. I would go back in the cave and hide then. If they're like the most convenient place to hide, just to let them calm down.
It absolutely is. You duck into
Okay.
the cave. It's just a quick jaunt away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
21.
nice. All right. He disappears for a second, ducks behind a rock, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" Now it's finally back around. Let's do. What do you want to do, Gex? You see where he went, more or less, but you kind of lost sight of him as in the swirl of like the headbutt
It'd
attempt.
be like Tihmily or Carl's turn.
Well, that was the surprise round, so it's actually Gex again, then them.
Oh,
Yeah.
touche.
Oh, step 1, cast invisibility.
Okay, you are
Definitely.
on yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then I'm going after him, and then I'm
Hilda
gonna
and Dave are like, and two
And then I'm
people
gonna-
disappear?
yeah, and I'm gonna say to them, we need to find him, and I'm gonna send the familiar out looking for him as well.
All right. Do a perception check on behalf of your familiar.
$19.
All right.
And
That's pretty good, but
I will head out that way as well.
your familiar doesn't seem to see him, but is starting to circle around. It doesn't spot him in the dark, but you can decide. Now, you did not see which way he went, so you need to decide where he went and see if you can follow it.
I mean, away from myself in the last direction he moved, I guess, is
Okay.
kind of all I have to go.
So you go
on.
stumbling through for a while. You hop over the rock, and then you can see down the cliff face down towards the forest, or you can turn and look up, and you do see the little cave from whence you when you came out from the dragon.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like snap using prestidigitation to cast like little balls of light in various directions, not near me, like up because I can do it up to 10 feet away. So I'm gonna do it as often as I can.
You can do that, but it'll be next turn, technically, if we're keeping it to the turn order.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Coming up next, it is finally Tihmily and it's finally Tillman and Hilda, basically at the same time. What do you guys want to do?
I'm still Man, what the fuck happened, man? One just
Okay.
left. He looked like Rook. Then I don't know where the big guy went, but he wants us to. He wants us to get the second Rook.
So what happened was, Rook is actually still back on Tasperil. Real Rook.
Man, that's fucked up, man. All right.
And so what we have here is a doppelganger that has taken the form of Rook.
And that's
His
about 6
goal
seconds.
is to get the orb to.
So you're trying to.
I'll magically. I'll pull the magical air plug out of the hut, and then cut the.
Deflate.
You pick up the bead where it deflated to. And you're just like, still smells a little of patchouli, and you tuck it in your shell. All right.
I can go track him next time, man.
You turn, trying to find where they are, and
Okay.
it's about then you see little sparkles of light, kind of. Let's just roll randomly, and we'll see where you see the sparkle of light.
Would I notice any tracks or anything?
Go ahead
Due
and
to his
roll a
proficiency in
either
survival.
either survival or perception as you start to get down on the ground near where your bead was and start. There was
Oh,
a firefly.
fuck you, man! I'm still high.
Sorry.
By the way, while
he
he was turning invisible and all that, I'm still reading his thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Oh, that's a thing you can do. I
That's
didn't
the
know
thing.
that. Okay.
So, yeah, that's all. That's happening. All right. So Tillman got an 11 on his survival check. So you're just like, there was a firefight. No, not quite, but there was definitely. Sorry, old movie reference. But yeah, you're getting a. You're like, okay, no one else approached the camp, and they went that way. So you get a basic direction. That's about it. All right. And Hilda, is there anything you're going to be doing besides trying to bring Tillman up to speed?
Yeah, I'm like waving my hands and I'm saying, and then I cast Zone of Truth, which is why you talked about the fish after you woke up. But then there was, all these questions that Gex and I was asking, not Rook. I think his name was Vostlo, Bubba something, Oswell, Bow Wow. Anyways, now Gex, the logic's not really clicking. Exactly why he has to take on Rook's form in order to deliver the orb. Like, why didn't he just join us? We're the strange acquaintances. We're not exclusionary.
No, man, we're pretty inclusive.
Yeah. So then Gex also gets mad because it seems like Rook was in trouble the last time he tried contacting Gex and myself.
Whoa, man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, this is not Rook. You gotta help Rook.
All
So
right.
we wanted some assurance. So Gex said, give the orb to Hilda, me, and the ring that Vostlo uses to contact with his brothers back on Tasperil. He did not do it, so that's when you saw like the stabby stab.
Right, man, makes sense. Makes sense now. So we're gonna go get the fucker.
Yeah, and then they both disappeared, which you saw.
Well, at this point, I begrudgingly, hand drum aside, trust Gex over not Rook.
I love how he's just not Rook now.
Just not Rook. Yeah.
Oh,
So, how does the ground look? Do you see any footprints? Where did each
ah,
of them?
man, I'm still a little groggy from, the abrupt awakening, if you will. But, I can gather that there's some steps going this way points to the direction, but,
All right,
I don't know how fresh they are.
that's fair. So you're getting a general direction. Meanwhile, Gex, I need you to do a either perception or survival check, but you have advantage as your familiar is kind of feeding you bits of information that it picks up. It's essentially aiding you in the search.
21.
All right. Still, sorry, I have to look. What was the stealth check? The stealth check earlier was pretty high. I think it was also 21, wasn't it? There, Gordon?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
21 and 20.
At that moment,
21.
you're just like, your eagle, your sea eagle managed to catch a glimpse of a little hint of movement down towards the cave. So you have a pretty good idea that he's over there somewhere. You don't know exactly, but he's gone in that direction.
I'm just going to shout to the other two, he's over this way. Towards the cave, because they can't see where I'm pointing.
At this moment, Kate...
He realizes as he does this. Yeah.
You can't see your own hand. It's like translucent hand. You're like, all right.
Like,
At this
we'll
moment,
call that
Kato's
a
like,
senior moment.
what? What's going on? Are we under attack?
Kato. Not quite under attack, and then Hilda kind of launches into her spiel again.
All right.
oh God.
Vostlo, you're in the cave. You're trying to stay out of sight. What's the next play? What do you want to do?
Probably sensing that Gex, reading his thoughts, has a general direction of where I am.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to go a little bit deeper and hide more diligently.
All right. Go ahead and do another stealth check as you move away and hide.
Ooh, not as good. 16.
All right. Okay. So you go deeper into the cave, and you press yourself up against the wall, and you can sense that ping feeling, little bloop, as Gex has this like quiet thought of, oh, I know where he is. And then he shouts it to for all to hear, and you're like, oh, they're coming in. So you move even further in a little bit more and a little bit more.
Not too deep though. Don't want to piss off Pelkey.
And you that's your thought as you suddenly find yourself pressing up against a wall, and then you go to move further away, and I need you to do a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. $18.
All right. For a moment, the wall is super sticky, and you're just like, oh crap, and you just manage to just pull away, and your clothing is stuck to it for a second, and it even tears some of the leather armor just a little bit on the sleeve, as this wall seems to be glistening with this kind of thick mucus type substance. And you didn't notice it at first. It would be considered a lair trap. And you just barely didn't end up stuck to the side of this thing. All right. What do you want to do? As you can sense in his thoughts that Gex is moving towards the cave.
Okay. I am going to. I'm actually going to shape change into a dragonborn.
Okay.
So not looking like Rook at all.
Yep. You absolutely. You remember seeing some dragonborn before, and you assume their shape.
Yep. And then, in the dragonborn form, I am going to, because I sense that Gex is coming into the cave.
Yeah.
I'm going to, and I don't want to like step in the mucus either, but I will step out and like not try to hide.
All right. Gex, I need you to do a perception check for me. Or investigation. Whichever one.
Is this a magical thing that he's doing? Would it fall under being magic?
It's
Just
not a
as a player?
spell, but it is a magical creature effect. It's an ability, but it's not a spell.
Yeah. So detect magic would catch it. So I'm going to cast that.
You wouldn't, you just know that there's.
Well, before that, do a perception check for me.
Okay. But I mean, that was going to be my next thing, was because I'm assuming he's using something magical to hide. I was going to cast that.
I'm going to say you might think of that eventually, but at the moment, all you see is this dragonborn in these kind of cultish robes step out from inside the cave and kind of hold up a hand. I can't see that. What did you roll?
No, 18.
18.
It's tiny.
Yeah. And so as you step out, you're just like, it's dim in here, and you see this dragonborn step out, and he's wearing these long cultish robes, and kind of extends a hand out. You just kind of like, oh, there's somebody else here.
So I'm thinking it's somebody else, obviously.
You're not for sure who it is, but you're not instantly thinking, oh, this is Vostlo. You don't pierce through the illusion at a glance.
So
Still a little sus.
I don't see him, but I can read his thoughts close by, right?
Yeah, well, actually, if you step out, he's now close enough. You can see him as well.
Isn't he invisible?
Oh, that's
No, you
right.
can't see
Thank
me.
you. Yeah,
I'm
that's right.
invisible.
Thank you.
But I
for
can read his
keeping
thoughts.
track.
So I'm actually gonna walk straight out of the cave, but right as I'm starting to walk, I'll say, "It will be done, Pelty." Like as if I came here, and then
orders.
change my voice and say,
Sure,
"Yeah,
absolutely.
on an order,"
All right.
and just
do a
walk as if I'm about my business.
deception check, please. And Gex, I'm going to need you to do an insight check. In a morphing time. I love it.
And I guess I get advantage.
You do get advantage because you're in his thoughts. So you're saying the thing that would be the most convincing.
Oh,
Advantage did not
13.
help you.
did not help. Nope.
All right. 13 versus his insight of 18, and you're not buying it. There's something fishy
Something
here,
sounds
Gex.
weird. Yeah.
There's this. Oh, you know what it is? You start to speak a lie, and because you were still like there and under the effects of that lie spell, you start to say, "I shall make it so," as the truth just kind of tries to force its way out of your throat.
Good.
So I'm gonna be walking out, but I'm
Man,
also
zone
gonna
of
be wary
truth.
of his
Never
thoughts
saw.
coming close.
Yeah.
If he's gonna try to intercept me or not.
Oh, he's pretty close. What do you want to do, Gex?
How close is he to me?
He's walking right through, like right past you. He's probably going to be about 10 feet away at one point. You could close distance real easy. You're in the middle of a 20-foot wide cave. The ground is smooth, with a few little ribs, but otherwise it's been pressed smooth, as though a passage of a massive creature has kind of worn it down over the years. You are on the doorstep of an adult black dragon.
Yeah, I have to think of what Gex would actually do, because I know what I know, and Gex doesn't know what I know. So, yeah, Gex is gonna kind of go after him and this time just trying to grapple him, hold on to him, and not let him go.
All right, make athletics check with advantage.
Athletics.
I'm going to say, Vostlo, you will be resisting it with either acrobatics or athletics, but you get a +2 because you do sense that he is coming at you. But there's a little delay as you're just like, oh, he's got... So it's not full even shot, but you do get a +2. 21.
So, yeah, I'm assuming Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh my God, Gordon. That is crazy.
There are other numbers.
That's a 30 for those watching at home. 30 on acrobatics as this dragonborn drops into a tuck and just woo, you're just doing the whole scoop in air thing, Gex, and you're just
Yeah.
So he's now visible, right?
Yes, he's visible now. Yep.
No.
An attack.
Not unless I hit him.
An attack will.
That's an attack.
Even an intended attack will drop your
yeah.
invisibility.
Right. Never mind. Yeah, I am visible.
So it's my turn?
Yep. It's your turn, Vostlo.
Oh, I should have known that because I would have done something different. Anyway, that's fine. I did it.
Okay. So
You're
with
still
my...
fairly new to Arcane Trickster.
Yeah. No, I know what I would have done. But anyway, he's new to his own skill.
Yeah, exactly.
So this makes sense.
Okay. So breaking free, I'm just like with I guess I've got a few seconds to say some words.
Yeah.
Say, you don't have to do this. I don't need to attack you. We could complete this mission still. I'll come back and we can talk. And I'm going to disengage, use my full movement, and hide again.
All right. Make your stealth check, please. Slippery little guy. Maybe it is Rook. Deep in his heart. Slippery little dude.
I feel
Not
like
the greatest this time, 50. He's not doing well on the stealth.
Yeah. You go stumbling down, you're knocking some rocks as you go out.
This time because he's in a dragonborn brushing off.
No, all your rolls are perfect when they're like directly opposed to Gex.
Yeah. You're the anti-Gex. You basically have two options there, Vostlo. Do you want to leave the cave, or do you want to go further into the cave?
Leave the cave.
Okay. So
if I can't hide to leave the cave, I'll just if I'm not unable to hide by leaving the cave, I would just use it to dash my bone my action.
Yeah,
But otherwise,
you pop up
if
out
I
of
can
the
hide,
cave entrance and you're just looking out. There's a bit of a flat ground, like a landing pad,
Yeah.
and then it drops off.
Yeah.
You can get out to basically the edge of that landing pad, and then if you want, you could either try to hide amongst the rocks, unconvincingly so, or you realize like this is not great hiding terrain for a good couple
I'll
hundred.
probably just book it for a
Yeah.
while. Like I'm
So
just gonna. I know where they mentioned the pearl
Yeah.
is on the other side of the island, so they're gonna have to go there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually just
So you
because I
look
can
east.
outpace them.
Yeah, you look east
East.
towards the rising sun, and you start. And with your acrobatics, I'm not making you roll. You're just like parkour down this boulder-strewn cliff, just bing, 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 all the way down. And you start making your way. By the time Gex realizes you have left the cave, you get the idea of where he was headed. But you kind of all kind of up on that landing pad area. Tillman, Hilda, Kato, and Gex are left standing there as Vostlo's parkouring down the cliff. It's not a cliff, it's more just a hill, but still.
Frozen? Okay, it's not just me.
No.
Uh-oh. Is the interweebs being bad? Interweebs. Okay. Tillman, Hilda, and Gex.
You've been frozen.
You've
for a
been
little
frozen.
What? Internet. Stop being a dork.
What's happening?
All right, hold on one second.
It's failing Todd tonight.
All right.
All I know is something I got away. Gex, Hilda.
This is a perfect time to say Tillman, Gex, and Hilda all meet up on the landing pad on the doorstep of the dragon as Vostlo books it towards the east and keeps an eye on them from a distance. And we're going to take a quick little break. So we're going to take a 10-minute. I'm going to kick my internet in the bullocks. And internet, don't forget, you're going to be able to chime in if you want. We're going to take a little 10-minute break, and we'll return shortly with some more Dungeons and Dragons. Let's come on back. Boom. Pew, 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 pew. Hey, everybody, we're back. Let's dive back in, pretty much right where we left off. Well, we can say a little time passes if you want, but you are just outside of the Black Dragon's lair. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna change what my familiar's doing. I have to recast it.
It takes about an hour.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I can command him. I haven't casted him.
You can command him and you can summon him, but to change his form, you have to redo the ritual, and the ritual takes about an hour.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, in that case, I'm not, because time is of the essence. I'm just going to command it to follow him no matter what.
All right.
Search for him, and when you find him, follow him no matter what.
Sure thing.
But stay out of archery range.
All right. So your familiar goes off to do that. Tillman, Hilda, Gex, you can all kind of chat with each other. And if you want to have some time pass, you can have some time pass. And I have a vague idea of what Vostlo wants to do and go to, but anybody else?
No, I think we need guys. Tell me if I'm thinking. Tell me what you think. But I think we need to beat him to that pearl. If he gets that pearl before we do, we're out. We need to get there first.
What if he waits for us to get it, then he beats us up to get the pearl? Isn't the hardest part trying to get it out of the bottom?
Maybe. But we're gonna have to think about that on the run.
Yeah, I think best to at least make it to that location before him.
Sure. So you pack up your stuff as quickly as you can, and you nudge Kato and Isolde awake. Isolde this whole time has been snoring loudly, as only a teenager can. And then you wake her up and she's, yeah, okay, sure. And then, she's...
Isolde, you missed it, but Rook is not Rook. It's been replaced by a doppelganger. He's trying to get to the pearl before us. We gotta go fast. Fill you in on the way. Let's go.
Okay.
Kato, we need to get there the fastest way possible.
All right. You can go ahead and, let's say 2 of you can roll a survival check to see how fast you can cover the turf, or alternatively, 1 of you can roll with advantage. And Vostlo, I'm going to need you to do the same, but not with advantage. Unless you want to
I'm
go with a
proficient
different
in it.
approach. Like,
I
follow
only
them.
have a +1 on my survival.
How about you guys give me advantage and I'll.
Yeah,
Sure.
advantage.
18.
It's okay. Not all of us can roll 30s.
Oh, fuck. Jesus. Gordon. Maybe you need to restart your internet.
I just don't understand why the rolls are doing so well for me in this situation.
Wow. All right.
Nat
Remember that-
2026.
All right. So,
This reminds me of that like Homestar Runner cartoon when they're introducing Strong Sad and he flies across the screen and all he says is, "I'm sad that I'm flying." That's Gordon right now.
it's just like parkour.
I'm sad that I'm winning.
You're literally you're doing the Luke front flip because there was a rock in your way kind of thing.
Yeah.
Training on Dagobah. You're going through all the jungle and you're like alternating between being like you're not sure exactly the way, so you get a certain distance till you find a really good spot, and then you wait, and then they go past you, and you are like, okay, I'm on the right track, and then you go around them, and then back ahead. I will say, throughout all of this, let's give the familiar one more look for Vostlo there. But good luck to you.
Come on, familiar.
Now
Do
you're
awesome.
using the familiar's stats, not your own, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh wait, let me double check. How I forget what its stats are. How they differ from mine.
For an eagle, it would have advantage, but it would also not be rolling quite quite so beefy.
Yeah, I don't know. Where I'm
You would have +4 perception.
Yeah, plus four perception,
Yeah, 'cause
but
it's
with
gonna have good
advantage.
eyesight.
Yeah.
Okay,
with
so with
advantage.
advantage,
Yeah.
+4.
Yep.
Okay.
And Vostlo, let's get a stealth check from you.
Yeah, watch. He's still gonna beat this. I don't. It's just
With
have
a-
no faith.
So
You roll the nat 20 though.
Yeah. So, like as if you're not going to.
Well.
You just rolled a 26 5 seconds ago.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my.
Hey, it wasn't
I
a
don't-
20. It was a 19.
I'm
for a
not
total
trying
of
to
a
win here,
30.
guys. This is like,
what?
I don't want him to win.
Gex might have broken Tillman's hand drum, but you're stealing away all his dice. He's
Oh, yeah.
rolling the low ones, and obviously the difference is going to you.
By the way, Tillman, you did see as you were hastily packing up the camp, getting ready to chase down Vostlo, you gather up your stuff, and sitting on a rock right in the middle of the campsite is your father's drum with a fresh skin on the top of it. But I'm going to get you to do a perception check for me, Tillman. And you have disadvantage. Sorry, pal.
15 it is.
15. 15 is enough. You almost missed this thing. So you're like, my drum. And you bend down to go get it, and your hand almost misses it. It looks like you're going to grab it right in the middle. And your hand's like, poof, just barely clips it, as it's actually a couple of inches to the left than what it appears. And you're not sure if you're high or what, but you grab it, and you're like, okay, that's weird. And once you've grabbed it, it looks right. But when you went to touch it, you were like thinking you were grabbing it here, but it was like, oh, no. Oh, it's over there. It's this weird stutter. Anyway, you've got your drum back, and it has a fresh skin on it, although it's not dry yet. So you pull your hand back, and you see like old Displacer Beast blood is on it.
Wow.
Anyway, so you are making best speed, and there is no sign of Vostlo. and it's just like Ghost Boy bopping it around. At one point, you become a doppelganger tree. I don't know.
A woodland creature type.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just a really big squirrel. That's not him.
The Cheshire Cat.
It's like at one point we all had to like just take a breath because we were making good pace, and then a squirrel's like watching us, and we're all
A
looking at
6-foot
the
squirrel.
6 feet tall.
It's the
I can go
Allison
small.
Winter.
I can go small. I can go like 4 feet.
No, yeah, a 4-foot squirrel.
So my height.
Yeah, a
So is
4-foot
it-
squirrel is
is it-
believable.
It's the Alice in Wonderland invisible cat, the Cheshire Cat.
And Isolde sees you in this 4-foot squirrel, and she's just like, "What the? Okay, I better not fall behind the group." She doesn't mention anything. She just sees it and is like, "Oh, that's weird." Okay, and goes and catches up with the group and doesn't mention it. There's a lot of weird stuff in this jungle, and it's only just now becoming light. All right, you make your way for quite a while through the jungle, and eventually Kato says, "We're on the edge of the terrain of Pilkey. We're about to enter the territory of his sister, Vares. We must be a bit careful here. Her minions would not take kindly to us."
Okay.
You press on for the better part of an hour. You've now crested over a mountain ridge and are heading down into a new valley. It's not super high mountains, but it's mountains. And you're going on along for quite a while, and you eventually see a break in some of the forest, and you see it's a bit more swampy on this side, and you can see bits of bog poking through. The trees thin out a little bit, but there's still plenty of tree cover. It's just there's a bit more water, and you're having to pick and kind of wind your way around a little bit to stay on more solid ground. And eventually you get down into this center section of the valley, and there's this lake. It's not a huge lake in the middle of this kind of otherwise swampy area. And you kind of see this, and it's an early morning, and it's a brilliant sunny day, but there's still a bit of a mist hanging in the lower sections. It's kind of like a couple times, one of you, probably Tillman, puts his foot into one of these lower spots, and like sucks on his foot a little bit to pull out of the mud. But you are aware that if you step in the wrong hole, there's mist down there. You wouldn't necessarily see what's in the hole before you're in it. So Kato is trying to steer you around some of this. There's no problem, given your 18 survival, but it does slow you down a little bit. Except for Vostlo, who's like, apparently he's like Naruto running over top of the swamp water. Like, peat bog is your natural habitat, apparently. All right, so you now look out over this small river, and at first it's just this beautiful morning, and then you see a... Wait, do a perception check for me, everybody. Everybody.
Rook your perception now.
Not Tillman.
14's not too bad.
I mean,
Well,
definitely
not
not
Kurt Gordon.
Hilda.
Dirty 20s
Definitely
for
not
both
Hilda.
Gex and Vostlo. And a 12 for Hilda. All right. Gex and Vostlo both see it first. There's right near this lake. You see this and the sunlight glinting off the water. And it looks pretty idyllic here, and the moss is growing thick over everything. And then you see a slight sway of one of the branches nearby, and out of one of the branches drops down this woman. Green skin, long hair that looks like hanging moss. You almost missed her because she blends so well into the background. As she walks away from this one tree towards the water, and you're seeing her kind of from behind. You're a little bit a ways up on the. Can you guys see the map?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I had to zoom out and then
There
zoom
you are.
back.
Yeah, you're way over. Oh, I guess I can go to our map mode. So you're looking down and you see this greenish tinted woman, naked, and you just see her backside and her legs and her long mossy hair is covering most of her. And she goes walking off into the water, and you just see her just peacefully stick a toe in the water and then just into the water. And it almost seems for a second, it almost seems just for 1 second that the water, as she reaches the water, it almost reaches up for her as well. It's a bit of an odd thing to notice. There's just this moment of lag where she's just like, and it's just they meet, and she goes beneath the surface. What do you want to do? You've got a couple minutes.
Watch
she jumps
what they're
in the
gonna
water.
do.
Yep.
Gonna...
She jumped in, and you're all just like, and she's down. She's still under.
Well, I am going to say, hey guys, we need to think a little bit here. We know Rook is probably close by if he hasn't already beat us here.
Not Rook.
Well, yes, we know not Rook is here. What's his name?
Ow wow.
Powwow?
Vostlo
Vostlo. Yeah.
Ow wow.
says Isolde. Was it Vostlo?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what Hilda said. All right, I'll shut up.
Vosthole. Vosthole is here somewhere. Probably. The pearl's in this lake. We need to get it. I have thoughts.
And it's right about now. You see the woman come back, cresting out of the water, and she kind of swims over towards the surface. If I can find her, there she is. Sorry, this is the problem with making the layers transparent. There we go. So she comes out of the water, and she's built like a human or perhaps an elf. Slightly longer limbs than normal. She's probably close to 6.5 feet tall. But she's totally green. Kirk would be all over her. Beautiful. And she kind of goes towards the shore and then gets out and walks around. And then she kind of walks a little bit towards you, but she's probably a good 40, 50 feet away still. And then she kind of reaches up and this grabs a vine on the tree and just gets pulled by the vine up into the tree. And she kind of hangs out up on one of the branches for a few minutes and just kind of sunbathing, letting the water letting the water evaporate off her skin. Doesn't seem to have noticed any of you yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna recast I'm saying this to the group. I'm going to change the form of my familiar from an eagle into a sea lion and send it to find and, if possible, retrieve the pearl, because it'll be fast. And if it can't bring it up, at least it'll find it for us. Meanwhile, I think we need to keep an eye out for Vosthole.
You mean not Rook?
Yeah. And that naked green woman is something we may want to discuss.
Did we all
She's in
perceive
tune
her?
with nature. Yeah.
Once Gex points her out, you can all see her. And Rook, not Vostlo, you see her as well. What do you want to do? So it's going to take you an hour to cast that. So if you start casting it here, she will definitely notice the green woman.
How far am I from the lake?
Probably right now about 60 feet. But if you retreat off map and retreat back a ways, you could probably find a spot that you could cast that if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go as far away from the water as I can while being able to cast it, because it's it can roll itself into the water. So I'll back up just a wee bit, probably. Somewhere.
So is everybody down for this? You're gonna have to take the other people could get a short rest while you do it.
Yeah, and then we just need to keep an eye out for things.
Sure. Is that the plan?
Anybody else is welcome to go jump in the water, but don't you have the power of swimming, Hilda? No. Who has the power of swimming on their gear?
Hilda does.
You may want to just go do
You're
swimming.
muted, Tihmily.
I do have the power of swimming, so I
have the power of bronze cross.
so I will, don on the armor. I don't know if I was already wearing it.
You were
but
already
if
wearing
not,
it.
I have it on. I will say, let me take a survey while you're readying that. X.
And maybe somebody wants to go have a pleasant conversation with this woman, because if she's some kind of guardian,
Yeah. I
I'm
was
focused
definitely
on what I'm doing right now, though.
And then, I'm gonna attune to my, maybe I don't need to attune. No, I don't. Anyways, I equip my trident and, hey man, I'll go with you, Hilda. We can go for a swim.
Great. Well, yes, but we should definitely do as Gex suggested, which is to speak with the. Maybe just say hi, introduce ourselves.
You're
Are you
asking
gonna-
me to converse with someone?
Maybe you can
Oh,
stand there.
man.
Stand there and look friendly,
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but even I know that's not a good idea.
Do you want me to go? I'll go. Isolde says.
Yeah, let's all. Yeah. It's all. Yeah, I think you would be a good candidate to join me. Let's go.
All right, you guys start to go, and Kiddo's like, I have a bad feeling about this.
Mm-hmm.
Take that how you will. Do you want to wait for Gex or do it first? Gex
Speaking
is
to her?
sitting down, flips open his spell book that he got, and he's like getting the components all ready, starts doing a little circle, burning a bit of incense in the middle. All right, what do you want to do? Actually, while you think about that for a second, sorry. Vostlo, you see them doing this. You can see Gex. You're hiding within sight, but very well. That stealth check is continuing until something changes that. And you also see this green woman. And you can see that the tree is responding to her as she's like, it's almost like it's a pet for her, and it's moving slightly when she goes to kind of sit up and try to stand and stretch and almost dry off. She uses some of the branches from it and shakes their moss-like hair. So you can see that it is definitely not a normal situation as she's busy walking through this thing.
Do I know what she could be?
What do you think she could be?
Like a dryad or something?
You've heard legends of
Vostlo, no?
creatures that inhabit the forests and guard forests. You've definitely heard of those creatures. Whether she's one or not, I don't think both. Well, you could do let's do either Arcana or History check.
Yeah, 14.
14. You've heard of such creatures? You've never seen one, but if you were to be a betting doppelganger, you would probably bet money that she probably is. She doesn't look... She's either that or some very strange kind of elf.
Yeah. Well, Vostlo is going to keep his distance, stay hidden, and observe how they interact with this woman, and see if an opportunity arises for him.
Okay. So you just kind of stand near this kind of big tree nearby, just kind of taking shelter behind on the map. You can kind of see it's giving you good cover from the people who you're tracking. All right, so you kind of keep an eye out. Everybody else, I believe Hilda, Tillman, and Isolde are now approaching the tree, and Kato and Gex are staying back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys approach and kind of feet crunching on the moss, and after a little while, you see this woman kind of twirling her hair, like getting the worst of the water out and kind of enjoying the sun, and all of a sudden, this little snap of a branch, and she freezes and turns her head and kind of looks over, and you're not making an attempt to be stealthy, so she sees you, and she ducks behind the trunk of the tree and kind of looks over at all of you. She's probably about 10 feet up in the tree right now.
Okay. I will, avert my gaze, so I'm not sure if druids, dryads have, like that shyness about their body, but like obviously I'm gonna be like, sorry, ma'am, we're just adventurers in this area and wanted to know if this lake is available for us to swim in.
And she's just peeking out. She doesn't say anything, and then she kind of ducks back a bit. You're getting the impression that she's probably just very skittish to outsiders. Not that it's like she at first was startled, but she's not like trying to cover up her body or anything. She's just trying to hide from view entirely, and then occasionally glances out to sea. And so you kind of lose sight of her behind the trunk, but you're pretty sure she's back there. Tillman, do you want to say anything?
Tillman doesn't say anything. Tillman doesn't want to fuck anything up.
I didn't say roll, Carl. All right. Isolde's like taking her cue from Hilda. Hi. Never seen whatever you are before. We're gonna... Should I tell her? Why we're here?
On the dinner low.
Okay. We're just passing through.
So we're really dirty. So we'd like a bath. In your nice little stagnant pond here.
And you kind of you're walking slowly so as not to startle her, trying to see where she went. And as you walk around, you kind of get to where you should be able to see around the tree where she was. And there's nothing there. There's no one there. Just the tree. And you can kind of complete the circuit, and she's gone. And you're just like...
Oh.
And Isolde's like, there was someone, right?
I'm
That's
sure.
Wait,
Yeah, I
was
think
that
so.
the doppelganger?
Oh. I don't think the doppelganger is capable of making something so pretty.
And of all of it, Vostlo, that probably hurt the most.
I can make myself look pretty.
Sorry. I'm sure Vostlo can be pretty when he wants to be.
He leans against the tree that he's hiding behind, tears streaming down. Okay.
Sure.
Actually, Vostlo. Hold on 1 sec. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. All right. Yeah. It just appears that this person, whoever she was, seems to be gone, and you're hanging out near this lake. The water looks nice and inviting, and you kind of get a pretty close look to it, and it's weird because it looks like it's not that big. It's probably only about maybe 40-50 feet across, and it's not a circle exactly. It's kind of an irregular shape, but when you get this close and you look, you're expecting kind of a stagnant pond, and you look at it, and it's just deep black water. And you kind of look near the shore expecting it to trail in slowly, and there's maybe about a foot around the edge, and then it just drops and into black, deep black water.
Oh boy.
All right, what do you want to do?
Can I?
Let's just say,
I
for the
can
sake
see
of
that
brevity,
it's-
you're about 10 minutes into your ritual there, Gex.
Okay. So I say I'm gonna take a dip, go for a swim, see how that goes.
I'll go beside her.
I'm gonna watch, says Isolde. So she kind of post-ups near the edge, and the two of you approach the deep black water, and it's almost like a almost like a borehole straight down. All right, you kind of get ready yourself, and oh, sorry. All right, let's get an athletics check or a perception if you're taking a look into the water. Are you gonna leap or are you gonna look?
Ooh, maybe look first.
Not Tillman.
I love it. 18 on athletics. Tillman's just
Oh.
like Hilda's sneaking a peek over the edge, and Tillman's just like
Just cannonballs over her.
And it just, first thing you notice is you were kind of expecting this to be a shallow pond. This is an incredibly deep gorge of water. And when you hit it, it is cold. It's like glacier cold. It's not solid, obviously, but you hit the water and you're just like, oh, it's refreshing. You dive in. Hilda, please do you did a perception check. 21. Wow, natural 20. All right, you notice this goes very deep, but you can see the sunlight doing these beautiful sun motes, in the water. Streaks of light, but as far down as the light will penetrate, you can just barely make it out. But now that you've got Tillman in for reference, you realize, okay, he's about 10 feet out and about 20 feet down. He's diving as deep as he wants. So how deep do you want to go there? And do you have means to breathe underwater?
I can hold my breath for an hour.
Oh, nice. All right, so you're good for an hour. And you just see his shell down to the depth of the light. What do you want to do, Hilda?
All right. I will. I don't really have anything that can still shine light in the depths of the darkness, but I'm going to dive in as well.
All right.
Maybe more gracefully, like maybe a
Sure.
tail instead of
Do an
cannonball.
athletics check, please. Also,
all right.
as soon as you hit the water, and Tillman, go ahead and do it too. And thank you, Kootenai. Thank you, Donnie, for the chat suggestion. You're going to need to do a Constitution save
Ooh,
That's pretty
more
terrible,
than
Carl.
more than his arms and legs retract into a shell.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
You tuck tail, as it were. Yeah, with a nat 2, total of 8 for Carl. It's so cold that the breath kind of, you actually have to force yourself not to inhale too much, but instead of having a full hour, you've bubbled out a bunch of the air. So we're going to say you've got your Constitution modifier as in minutes max.
Wow.
Okay.
And for a nat 1 and an 8, Hilda, you hit the water and you just scream. It is so cold. You're just like, ah! Like you do the whole like polar bear dip thing, and you're just like, oh my god. And when you do that, all the air leaves your lungs. You're like, blub, 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 and you are going to need to do an immediate. You're drowning, and so
Oh boy, okay.
you're. Oh wait, does your armor
Thinks
give
you
you
can
water
breathe.
breathing?
My armor does give me water breathing once a day. So...
Okay. So if you want to spend your action activating that, you could do that. But I'm gonna get you to do a. I think how this works is you do a death saving throw technically as you start to drown.
Oof.
A death save rather. I might be a little fuzzy on the drowning rules.
Which one do I roll for that? On the.
It's just a d20
Yeah,
and roll over 10.
Oh, okay. Roll
If
a
you
D20.
fail, you will actually inhale water and start to die. That's what this is.
I roll the 4.
Shit. Hilda is like about to activate her armor and then just is like and starts to panic and inhale water, and she is literally drowning. Tillman, you see this.
I mean, I wasn't.
I swear, it's Gord casts a spell. He's draining our dice pool. That's what he is. He casts a spell.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, but drowning, you drop to 0 immediately. That's why it's yeah, that's what happens. So until
Alright,
you save. So Tillman, what do you want to do?
Hey, does dark vision work in the water?
Yep.
In this darkness? Okay. I'll look quickly around. Let's see if I notice anything out of the ordinary.
You notice the dwarf drowning about 10, 20 feet behind you.
All right, I'll go and save Hilda.
All right.
So
do an
I'll
athletics
reach
check,
up
please.
and athletics. I won't do it very well.
Not with
Jesus
a natural
Christ.
3, total of 11, but it's enough. The thing is, you can do it, you get there, but it's taking you some time.
All right. How much time? Like
It's
half
basically,
or-
it's going to take most of your movement to get there, and you're going to be able to you're about 10 feet below the surface, Hilda, so you'll get to her this round, and then you'll begin to bring her up, but she will have to do another death save.
Okay.
And you have failed 1 death save. If you fail 3, it's Acquaintance, lady. That's how cold this water was. It's at this point, Tillman, you realize you're used to salt water. This is super salty. This is like brine.
Wow. Shouldn't we
Alright.
float then?
Well, yeah, actually, you'll do athletics with advantage. There you go. Roll it again there, because of scientist over here.
Because of science.
Because of science.
Because science.
19.
Oh.
The anti-drowning of science. All right, so Tillman, you managed to, you realize, okay, you keep whatever breath you've managed to keep in your body. You paddle towards her, and it's making you more buoyant, both of you, as you're both kind of slowly going up towards the surface. Tillman, you grab her and drag her up to the surface. Hilda, do one more death save for me, just a d20.
Okay,
And
can I
Isolde-
do? Can I cast Spare the Dying?
Yeah, you can if you want.
I rolled a 12.
Okay,
she'll
so you
need
do
it.
pass this death save, and Tillman just. Oh, I think it's canon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Face
So
palm.
face palms you just, and then pushes the head up towards the water and just like, and you gasp as you get to the surface, and you kind of push your way up onto the edge, and you're just at the edge of the lake there, and Hilda's coughing up a bunch of water, and Isolde's like, "How'd it go?"
Loud coughing, vomiting of water.
Yeah,
Going
it
on.
was not great. And
Ooh,
Isolde turns
so
around
salty.
to tell Gex there, like, they didn't do great. And at that moment, when Isolde turns around, that green woman is standing like right behind Isolde, like right there,
Oh.
like right in her face. It had been sneaking up behind her. Vostlo, you spotted this thing approaching her from the distance there, so anytime you want to interrupt, you're welcome to. As she's standing right over Isolde, Isolde turns around to be like, "Gex, they're okay." She's like, "Whoa!" And this green creature looks at her and says, in a language, "What languages do people speak here? Give me the list. Call them out."
Common, Dwarvish.
Sorry,
Common
say it
and
again.
Elvish.
Common Elvish.
Aquin, Common, and Gnomish,
Okay.
and Telepathy.
Okay. And Gex?
Giant, common.
None of you speak this language. It sounds vaguely elven. As she turns towards Isolde and goes,
Can I read her thoughts to understand what she's doing, or at all? Or...
yeah, go ahead and do insight check. You don't get words, but you get a intent and visuals.
Well,
You get that she is very unhappy, and you manage to work out the word intruder.
Oh no.
I'll continue just watching the scene play out.
That's what you get. That's what you get when
You
You-
get it?
make
When you
your
don't
friends
want
upset.
Vostlo's help.
Yep. All right. All right.
Vostlo
Isolde's
can help and
looking-
turn into pretty things all day long.
All right. I'm gonna say she reaches out. The green creature reaches towards Isolde, and Isolde's just like, "Look, we didn't." And she just reaches out and just suddenly plants her finger, almost like vicious thrust of her finger into Isolde's hand, and she goes, "Ah!" And then she opens her hand, and there's this little spot of blood, and then green begins to spread from it, and just goes as all these vines spread out of her hand, from this little tiny pinprick wound in her hand, and just go and start growing along her arms and then wrapping around her body, and just up from the ground, these vines, and the whole area around begins to grow all these thick green vines. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Hilda and Tillman, you are just on the edge of this. You're right on the edge of the water as well. And so if you stay on the edge of the water, it's going to get you too, as they 20-foot thick square vines start just entangling everything in that vicinity. And Isolde is quickly just bound up in this. Like, in just a few seconds, you can almost not even see her as the vines start wrapping up around her face and everything. And the dryad, as you figured out, steps back from her and kind of gives a curt nod and looks towards the two of you in the water. Go ahead and roll initiative.
We all rolling?
Yep.
Why is everything so bad today, Gordon?
Hey, I'm giving myself a vigilant blessing and advantage on initiative.
All right.
Here you go.
Nat 20.
Ooh.
That's
Or
where
19.
you've been hiding those. For a total of 19. All right.
A nat 20, but you get a 19.
Exactly. And it wasn't even a charisma.
All right. Call them out for me, will you? Gex,
5.
what'd you get?
I also rolled a nat 20 for a 23.
All right. Tillman
That's how it should work.
is a 9. I'll start a new one. So 23 for Gex. 5 for Hilda.
9 for Vostlo.
9 for Vostlo. Okay. What'd you get there, Tillman? Sorry. Oh, 19.
19.
As good as it
Nat
gets?
20.
Dude, you
Yeah.
are quick on the draw. All right, give me 1 second here. That is far too peaceful of music. We need some action music.
He must have accidentally snorted like some pseudo cocaine or something from a shell because ooh, he is hot.
Yeah, it's that rage just comes bubbling up a little bit. They're like, all right, take it away.
So we're fighting these vines.
All right, Gex, what do you want to do? You're at an incredible distance. You see Isolde. You're about almost 100 feet away, and you're like busy doing the spell. You're about 15, maybe almost 18 minutes into an hour-long ritual. You could keep going if you like.
In my estimation, do they need my help?
Isolde looks caked in vines, and this creature just steps back. Also, from your vantage point, you see the tree behind her begin to wiggle and move as though it's kind of responding to her as the whole thing kind of twists on the top end just a little bit.
Is there anything I can do without stopping the ritual?
Unfortunately, it takes up your entire focus. You can talk a little bit. That's about it.
My understanding is, like, if I stop the ritual, the familiar would just stay as the eagle, right?
Yeah. It's very
Yeah.
much Willow, you know. Willow.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it and go to the green lady and approach her.
It's going to take pretty much your whole movement. So 5, 10,
Yeah.
15, 20, 25, 30. That's your movement. If you dash or use your bonus action dash, you could probably get pretty close.
I can double my speed and get there in 60 if I go fast, but I'm not going to. I'm going to call out to this woman as I'm going and say, "Hello there. Pardon me."
And the tree pivots
I got her
towards you and then takes its roots uproot, and the trunk splits a little bit and just takes a step protectively between you and her. Just like if a tree could go,
Please let my friends go. We mean you no harm. We're just. I'm sorry I don't understand your language, but maybe you'll understand that I really do mean you no harm.
Vostlo, can I get a perception check, please? She doesn't seem to reply, but she does look at you over the corner of her eye, and then she kind of tilts her head and says something in that other language. Then she looks back towards
23.
Tillman and Hilda. 23, nice.
Yeah.
We'll get to what you see in just 1 second. All right, Tillman. Is there anything else, Gex? She doesn't seem to be replying, and the tree between you and her is a good, 30, 40-foot tree, so it's not small.
I'm just gonna keep coming forward with my hands up,
So you're going to spend your action to just move a little closer?
being as non-threatening as possible.
10, 15, 20. You get to about here, and the tree steps in front of you. And if you go any further, it will be leaving its reach and would provoke an opportunity. You do have 10 more feet of movement if you like. It might not take a swing at you, but you get the impression it's right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay away from gauging the length of its branches and whatnot. Stay out of its reach.
All right. So you kind of just try to skirt it a little bit. You stop at the edge. You're like, I don't think it can get me. You're about 10 feet away from it. But you can try. That's about as far as you can get that turn.
Then I'll slow down and kind of hey, keep trying to get attention of the dryad.
And she turns towards you. And because you're moving towards her, she had been intent on Tillman and Hilda on the water's edge there. But now she looks at you, and she kind of walks up almost, again, a little bit shyly behind the tree, and then puts her hand on it and is looking at you, Gex. Okay, and we'll pause there for a sec. Tillman, what do you want to do? You're on the water's edge. You can see the vines growing towards you. If you stay where you are, you will get entangled in just a moment. But you are technically right on the outer edge of that. If you go back and push your way out in the water, you don't need to get caught up. Hey, Darcy.
Can I make it here on my move? Or?
Oh yeah, no problem.
If I'm dragging...
Oh, you're gonna drag her? Yeah, you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, you pull her along. Your movement's halved because you're doing that, but 5, 10, 15, let's say. Yeah. Using the kitty corners, you can get to the far shore and push her up on the far shore if you like.
All right, and
now you're kind of going back.
Looking?
Sorry, 1 sec. You're going back in the deeper water a little bit. You kind of skirt over it, and that radiating cold hits you again. I'm going to get you to do another Constitution saving throw, please. Both you and Hilda. Oof. 9?
Yeah. Mm.
This time it's you who are as you're paddling through, and your limbs just instinctively retreat, and you start to sink down. You're just trying to push Hilda above, and your feet just feel like numb blocks, and your legs just don't move the way they should, and you start to sink below, and you're just holding her above the surface. But you, sir, are going to start having to make saves in just a moment. What else do you want to do? You do
I can hold
technically
my
have a
breath,
bonus.
though, right?
With that save, unfortunately, no. It's going to be a death saves type situation.
All right.
But you do technically have an action and a bonus action left.
I don't have any arms.
Well, you do have arms, technically. It's just your limbs are so cold. There's a sudden... It's almost like a pulse of cold as you go over a deeper section. You're just like... So you do still have an action and a move, and you do have your arms and technically your legs. But after this, you're going to sink beneath the water.
Okay, can I...
This is actually more like a... You're right, Darcy. The turtles can hold their breath. And even Hilda, if she concentrates for an action, she can get water breathing. But the water is so cold, you can blame Donnie. It is so cold that it's causing people to exhale, and then the next gasp, they'll be breathing in the water. So he's at that instant where the water is so cold that he's exhaled all of his available air. So you're right on the edge of the water. What do you want to do?
I am blaming Donnie, and I hope that Tillman haunts his dream at night.
The death of Tillman is on your hands.
Yeah,
How
man.
is Hilda
Fishies.
already... Is Hilda over the ridge or over the?
She's right on the edge.
ledge?
You could push her up on the water if you want for your action. Out of the water if you want for your action. I'd even let. Yeah, go ahead.
If I
What do you
keep
want?
if I keep a hand on her, can I use my action and remaining strength to get myself on the edge and just hold on to her?
Sure. Yep. So you're gonna spend the
What do you want me
action
to roll?
pulling yourself up on the edge. I'm gonna count that as basically a dash action. So you drag the both of you out of the water, but because you're dragging her and you're at half movement already, I'm gonna say you just get up on the land, and as soon as you're exposed to the air, the briny crystals on the water, the water on you, the brine doesn't freeze. It's vapor in the moist air, and this. You can see now the steam coming off the lake isn't fog so much as like really, really cold. And it begins to make this ice crust over you as you're both like huddled on the shore shivering. But you've managed to push both of you out of the water as your action. You do have a bonus, technically.
I don't have much I can do as my bonus except for rage, and I don't want rage right now.
That's fair. Teeth chattering.
Hold on, but I can do healing word.
Ooh, yeah, you can.
So I'll do healing word on Hilda.
All right.
Oh boy.
That's okay. So Hilda, but go ahead and make that roll there. Ooh, 4 points.
4.
Man, what's with you in ones tonight? Yep. So Hilda, you were at 0, and now you're at 4 hit points.
Oh wow. 4.
Because drowning's
hit
super
points.
weird. All right.
Okay.
You know what?
Okay.
I never agreed with the whole you instantly drop to 0 thing. So I'm gonna say you were down by, I don't know. Let's do a d20. You were down by 12 points of damage from drowning damage rather than an instant drop to 0. This is a bit of me house ruling because I don't agree with this instant 0. So let's do 12 points down, but you just got 4 points back. So you're only 8 points down from top, Hilda. Just so, yeah, otherwise it'd be a bit too ridiculous. All right. Isolde's trapped. Coming up next, Vostlo.
What did Vostlo see with his perception of,
So-
was it a 23?
You're huddled in, you're watching Gex approach this green woman, and then right next to your hand, this eye opens in the tree, and then another one, and they are like 4 feet apart. And you're just like, and you just kind of retreat your hand away from this thing as the whole, you suddenly take in and realize, holy crap, this is big. This makes the other tree look really small compared to the thing that you've been hiding next to. What do you want to do?
Okay. He is going to disengage and move to somewhere else where he can just hide.
Okay. So you disengage carefully away from this thing. Do a stealth check for me, please.
Okay. Oof, 14. Not great.
So you go scrambling backwards and you trip on one of the roots and hit the ground. And at that point, Gex, you hear the thump and you turn around. You see him scrambling backwards away from something.
He sees someone scrambling away.
Yeah, sees someone scrambling away from this thing.
Sees it.
And Gex goes to turn back, and in that moment, a couple of things happen. Number 1, the Dryad is looking intently at Gex, and Gex is looking over his shoulder at Vostlo, well, someone paddling backwards, and then Gex kind of glances back towards the Dryad, at which point you're going to need to do a wisdom save.
Who, me?
Gex.
Okay, fine then. If you say so.
As you kind of catch her eye, and the deep green eyes just flash. as she attempts to Fey charm you.
Please roll less than that.
Okay, that's a 19. You needed 14, so you are not magically charmed. So you're actually immune to it for 24 hours. So for a second, you're just like, oh, what? Ah! And then you shake your head and you shake off the sensation. Okay, all right, nice. Coming up next, the other thing that happens, you hear as this massive and the fey creature, the dryad you were looking at, calls out past Gex now, looking over your what is your right shoulder. She calls out over there, and she's like, "It's Helena!" And all of a sudden you hear this creaking sound as this massive tree begins to uproot itself from the ground.
Oh boy.
It is probably 20 or 30 feet across diameter at the base. Its massive limbs, these extending branches, about half of it was underground, and it's now pulling its way up out of the mud and the muck. It is this incredibly massive creature, and it opens its mouth, and it's got this brilliant orange glow of magic, flickers to light in its eyes, almost like a pinkish, reddish glow. It's almost got like a crown of branches sticking up and jutting off of its head as this massive, even bigger than a tree ant, pulls its way out of the dirt. And it just... And the ground just vibrates, and all the ground around it within a 10-foot radius becomes difficult terrain as the roots all just tear it all up. And you all just see this thing awaken, and it calls, and the dryad looks towards Gex, and in halting common, she says,
You will leave her mistress's grove now. You are trespassers.
My deepest apologies. These are my friends, pointing at Hilda and Tillman. They're my friends. But I do not vouch for that guy.
and then she looks towards them, and they're all half ice encrusted over there, and she looks over to Isolde, and she's like,
You.
And she turns back to Gex and just like,
They have breached the sanctity of the grove and must pay the price. Flee
Maybe we can come...
and tell others never to come back.
come to some agreement. If you let them go, we'll back off. I'll back off. And maybe
that's
we can
6
have
seconds. As you're just like, and this monstrous, massive creature just, and it starts to, it doesn't seem interested in Vostlo at the moment, as it pivots and starts walking towards Hilda and Tillman, and kind of almost sideswipes Gex in the process. These long, moss-trailing limbs as it moves forward. You seem to have woken
already bloody.
Okay. So,
whose turn is it now?
well, normally it would be Hilda's turn right now, as you're like teeth chattering, and on the shore with Tillman. Hilda, what do you want to do?
What can I do? Really, if I'm so cold right now.
You're just gonna. I'm gonna shiver.
I'm gonna shiver. That's what your body does when it's trying to generate heat, right? I am going to. Let's see. Is there anything I can do? Fuck. I am going to
It's moving
try
closer.
to reach. I'm going to reach a hand into my sack and grab one of the bottles that Tillman gave me
All right.
and offer it up to Tillman.
All right. I need you to do roll any dice, evens or odds.
Oh.
Me or her?
I'll let you two fight over that. I think
Alright,
Hilda
so-
gets to roll.
'Cause I'm
I've
the one that-
decided, and I'm only gonna share with the online people whether it's evens or odds is the not so great thing.
Okay.
This is the benefit of players not seeing that particular camera.
This is 17.
So that's an odd.
So it's an odd.
All right. So Hilda passes you a potion. You want it?
Can I do a check to see if I recognize it?
You're like, sick. Trying to hold it up. Sure, why not? Perception check with, yeah, we'll just straight perception.
Oh, you're perceiving
That is a
Whoa.
19. You look at this thing, you see these little motes, little sparkles floating the pinkish liquid of the vial that she's holding out towards you, and you're just like, yeah, man, those look like good little fishies swimming in the water. Those are happy fish.
Will you
Was it
take-
the fiber potion or a healing potion?
It appears to be the regular healing potion.
Oh man, thanks. Yeah, that's what I need.
All right, you pass him the potion. He imbibes it.
But okay,
Or you're gonna
how
save
many
it.
hit points did I lose last time though?
Let's say this. I'll just roll the d20 from the cold. Let's see. You lost 2, so not much. Your thick shell protected you from the worst of it. She looks
I'm
worse
like,
than you do.
yeah, you might as well keep it there, Hilda. I'm good.
Okay. All right.
It's
Shaking,
safe though.
so-
Don't worry.
And puts it in the bag without really looking and mixes it with the other bottle.
All right.
Oh, what? Okay, pulls out the other.
Okay, that monstrous thing is still approaching, and I'm just gonna ask everybody, not characters, as players. I have the ability to go long tonight if you guys do, but I don't have to. We could stop now if you want.
I can go a bit longer, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes for me, but that's it.
Well, depending on how this goes, it's probably going to be either a heck of a convincing or a heck of a fight. So, if it's 10 minutes, I think we should probably pause here and call it a night.
Yeah, we can pause. Let's pause. It's
That's
okay.
That seems like a good pause point, as this
Aw.
massive tree is just like. Oh, and I
Yeah,
have to
it's
say
an
this because my son invented this sort of. As you lay there shivering with cold, covered in ice, Isolde just barely visible amongst all the vines, Gex standing right between these two massive things, and they're bearing down on Hilda and Tillman on the edge of this water as this forest, what was it? Forest abomination, a jungle. I'm sorry, Will, if you're watching this later. As this jungle abomination bears down upon you, we're gonna call it, and we'll see what happens next week on Dungeons and Dragons. Dun, dun, dun.
Done.
Oslo's turn next.
Yep.
I can make myself pretty.
I
From
will.
here.
Vostlo will either do something or the other thing, but it
that
will
other
be
thing.
pretty.
Vostlo will remember you all by
Pretty
becoming
something.
you after you have been murdered, and he's hiding in the. All right, thanks, Donnie. Thanks very much, and Darcy and everybody else who drops by, and also listening after the fact. Let's turn to the audience first, but also the players. What should we name tonight's episode? What do you think? What's a good title for tonight's episode?
Oof. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I would
we will
say-
have a word from our sponsor in a moment too.
Tonight's episode. Stop fucking rolling natural 20s, Gordon. And then once we've killed the doppelganger, please start re-rolling natural 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
You just time out from those.
Yeah, I did not know where that was gonna go tonight. I was just like, well, I was gonna just do a little hint about Rook popping in, and then you did it so fast, and you got Hilda. I was like, okay, and then she cast that damn spell. Like, Zone of Truth is
Yeah.
the most useful thing this time. I've never seen it be so damn useful before.
Yeah.
Yep, that was interesting. And
And
so
also was thinking, well, I could book it out, or I could try to convince them.
that was fun. I'm glad you leaned into that. So we'll see what happens next. Unlikely acquaintances, strange acquaintances. Well, if the audience doesn't have one, I've got one that might work.
What's that?
Strange acquaintances got stranger. It's a bit long.
Oh,
we could-
I feel like the words were just long, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually as long.
We could do
Like,
like
even stranger acquaintances.
even stranger,
Yeah.
Even stranger acquaintances.
even stranger
Yeah,
acquaintances.
yeah.
I like that. Oh, I was thinking like got stranger, but that
Yeah.
that could be the old milk ad.
We're all too old. There's not as many people that remember that God.
Yeah. I'm showing my age now.
Either that or like something like truth and lies.
Nice.
Mm.
Some ponds are not for swimming.
Uh,
I like that too.
The
Well,
root of truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh,
Well,
the
Thanks very
roots.
much, everybody. I think we're probably gonna leave it off with what was it? No, it was even stranger acquaintances. Even
God.
stranger acquaintances go swimming. We'll figure it out. All right, thanks very much for listening. Go and hit the like and the follow, and we'll hear a word from our sponsor in just a few minutes once I find that. Hey, if you're here, please click the like, the follow, the subscribe, the plus the bell. I don't know what you're watching or listening to this on, but you do. So do the thing, and join us next week if you can. And don't forget to check us out tomorrow, because we're doing a special Shadow Run, brand new Shadow Run. Jump in. We got some new players, or some returning players, some new characters, and a brand new GM who's he's sitting over there. Absolutely. Peace, hugs, and love, Donnie. Thanks very much. And thanks for watching and listening, everybody. And stick around for a word from our sponsors. We'll do it in just a couple minutes. All right. Thanks, everybody. And thanks for playing. That was fun. Now, I need to find the button. Where's the button? All right.
Push all the buttons. Click, click.
In 1, 2, 3.
And now a word from our sponsor. Come down to Giuseppe Lombardi's Spherical Pizza. Are you tired of having flat pizza? Looking to round out your diet? Looking for three-dimensional food? Come to Giuseppe Lombardi's Spherical Pizza. We take the dough. We put the dough on a stick. We rotate it on the rotisserie. Keep it in a sphere. Then we take the mozzarella and the marinara sauce. We put the marinara sauce on the dough, pizza dough, going in the sphere. Then we put the mozzarella cheese, and then we put the toppings, and then we take more dough, and we put it on the outside. Ka-chish! And then we rotisserie on the special oven so you get a nice spherical pizza. Only 4,000 calories per serving. Buy one, get one free. Giuseppe Lombardi's Spherical Pizza. Come today, tell your friends.
But Giuseppe, I'm stuck in the woods. Can you deliver?
We deliver via interdimensional transportation for $199.99. Giuseppe
Wow.
Lombardi's Spherical Pizza.
Each spherical pizza comes with its own complimentary colonoscopy.
When you eat it, everything comes out.
That was when you were
That was the
off there,
potion.
Todd.
The potion you keep dodging. Seriously. 1 in 6 chance this whole damn time. And you guys keep
So-
rolling against... You've been saving all your good luck just to not get the turbo lux. All right. Thanks, everybody.
I was telling when we were on the
We'll get
break.
the tree.
All right. I think we'll sign out there. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next. We'll see you tomorrow for a shadow run. And then
Tomorrow.
some of you. And everybody else, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers.